The university will become not again a place where teacher will lecture and talk to. It will be a place where you bring industry, you bring real problems that need to be solved, and students will be immersed into solving those problems.
This is Reimagining Higher Education, your go-to podcast with remarkable education leaders sharing personal stories from their experience in and around the sector, including reflection and hope for progress in the sector. With your host, Dr Ashraf Mahate, consultant in the areas of international trade, export promotion, inward investment attraction and entrepreneurship, fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, and member on Studiosity's Academic Advisory Board.
Welcome to Studiosity's Reimagining Higher Education, a podcast series that delves into the minds of higher education leaders, shaping the future of learning. I am the host for the session today, and my name is Dr. Ashraf Mahate. In each episode, we delve into what drives higher educational leaders and their institutions towards academic excellence, student success, and meaningful impact. Today, I'm delighted and honored and extremely pleased to be joined by Dr. Hamad Odhabi, who is from Abu Dhabi University, a distinguished leader whose insights and experiences are helping to redefine higher education in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE, and also in the Middle East. So let's get started and welcome Dr. Hamad to the podcast. Dr. Hamad.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraf. I'm really delighted to be with you in this podcast. I looked at all the other podcasts, which are amazing. I learned a lot from them. So I would really look forward to having our conversation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Hamad. Dr. Hamad, I'd like to start off by asking you, as an educator, as a leader of one of the most prestigious universities in the UAE, Abu Dhabi University, ranked very highly on the QS global rankings, wonderful achievements, tremendous growth in student numbers. Its alumni are very well known throughout the whole country. How has your own struggles as a learner, as an educator, shaped your conviction, the trust and the belief in developing human capacity at the center of what Abu Dhabi University does? In other words, what is your own journey and how does this manifest itself in the way that you lead Abu Dhabi University?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. It's a really important questions. To answer. If I go to my own journey in education and how that can help me I did bachelor in physics in Saudi Arabia, and that experience was really amazing that time, which I did it in 83. That's the time I started studying, and I was doing physics with a minor in computing. And what really made me enjoy what I'm doing is the way the university was doing it. I did King Saud University, yes. And it was a very practical. There are lots of labs, and we have industries coming and going, and the computing started to come. So I get into getting my own computers. I had the first one called Sinclair. Some people don't know it.
I know that one. Yes.
Which, most people in our age have been into yes. that journey. And I started.
It was also my first computer.
yeah, most of us. Sinclair, then came Commodore 64, and then came IBM X and stuff like that. And that started thinking how I can use it to help me with learning. So I started creating some programs that calculate some physical phenomena, answering some questions and different things. And I got the encouragement from my dean and the faculty. I remember Dr. Saleh Bormo, his name. He was teaching us computing format and Fortran and COBOL and those languages at that time. And when I brought my computer, I started showing him what I'm doing. He sat down like a student and said to me, Show me how this works. Explain this to me. And that affected me now. When I talk to the student, I always give them the impression that they know better than me. And of course, they know better than me now because of the wide access to the knowledge they've been through. Then when I went to UK and did my master and PhD, it was another eye opener for me, the way people work to each other, the emotional side of learning and teamwork and problem solving and connections with the industry. I did a computer simulation, so we had a sponsorship from a company called CACI. They were specialized in computer simulation at that time. So we work with them to develop something called sim process software and things like that. And the research came there. So now it's not only learning, you are in the classroom and doing, you need to show the world what you learn and how the world can benefit from what you learn. So you need to share that one and move it to the next level. This brought all these things in my mind. Then when I came to UAE, I started at the higher colleges of technology. It is more applied university, you can say. We used to believe in something called learning by doing. So we get the student to do things, and through that journey, we bring the learning in place, and that was amazing experience. When I came here, came during the AI journey and transformation and this technology, so I started looking at that. But I think what makes the difference is the leadership. In every place I've been in, I found the leaders are interested on the learners in my learning. They want to support me to learn, and that became part of my thinking. I am here to help those young people to achieve their future goals. And they have huge opportunities, and there are challenges around them that sometimes take them away from these opportunities. What is our role to guide them through that and provide them with the resources, with the support needed to achieve? And then comes important of ranking, accreditation, curriculum, industry collaboration, all those aspects of things.
It's amazing that you mentioned the value chain so nicely. It's the fact that the emotional part of learning, and then with that comes success. If you don't focus on the core foundation, the other things don't come along.
I agree, absolutely agree. Because we are human, and the human needs the human connections. We get inspired by others. We get motivated to do things because we can see role models there who really doing things the way they believe it should be done, and they're not just telling us, they are practicing it. And the human part in education is very critical.
Wonderful. Now, this is the thing that's actually changing in life, right? We're having this conversation virtually. I don't think it would have been possible when we were both doing a PhD, right? Or even when we were students, certainly not when we were students. Now, today we live in a world not of computer or of supercomputers. Now we live in a world with AI. And I don't think I could ever have any conversation where these two words don't come in: artificial intelligence. This disruptive technology has shaped every part of our lives, right? Now, the question is that it brings good things to us. I have many different ways that I, as an educator, can now educate my learners, right? I don't only have to use PowerPoints or lecture material. I can bring in actual direct evidence from the market, or I can show them companies. I have many, many different resources, right? And it's made, I think, from an educational point of view, it's made learning much more exciting. It's made learning much more fun. And different people learn differently. But the problem I find is that it's brought a lot of challenges, right? If I want to find an answer, I go to Claude or Chat and I get an answer. If I have a problem and I can't waste time, not waste the wrong word, I don't spend time figuring it out. I go to Claude and chat and I get the answer. I go to Copilot, which is now becoming my autopilot, right?
Yeah.
And now the question is, how do I change that? This is a huge challenge.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
I think it goes back to our education system. We need now in this era, we need to change our the way we do education. The purpose will stay the same. We are helping human to build knowledge, expertise, and become effective and in the society. But the way we do it has to change. The knowledge is already there. It's not a question about the knowledge or presentation or explanation by a faculty, ChatGPT, Claude, all those can make so many beautiful explanation, especially if they have the authentic resource that the source they will use. It's about the journey of learning. And I think what we used in the past to do, we used to look at some models like flipped classroom, where you give a video to the student, they watch the video, and then come to the classroom, you have some discussion. We had challenges with that as well, because some students do not watch that video and come to the classroom with nothing in their hand to do. Now, AI can do much better job on that one. If it is structures and the students are trained to go through that journey. So if there are things they need to know and do, if I'm teaching them any topic, I don't want to come to the class and explain it like they know nothing about it. They should have a task to go and explore it, ask the right questions, come with the practical solution and examples, reflect on those answers, come from those different models, and maybe build a small example that shows the understand. If doing a budgeting, for example, they can create a budget or strategy or a software or whatever to do. So when they come in the classroom, they come with evidence of their learning. And this should be evidence-based, where they submit to the faculty, this is what I've done in the classroom. And the classroom this time bring the dimension that AI cannot do, which is the human part, where human need to talk to each other. Students need to reflect, need to discuss, need to debate, need to look at their solution and efficiency of the solution. And then the journey continue after the classroom with more hands-on and problem-based learning and work-related learning. That need to change, in my opinion. Also, I think the structure of a degree, like this is a 4 years degree here in UAE, 3 years degree in UK, that no more is the only solution. There are other solutions. Students can maybe demonstrate they achieved the skills and competencies area, or maybe they need more time to do it. And that we need to rethink about it. Who said that? I'm sure who came with this one, 12 years of schools and then 4 years of the university, and then you become 20 something. It's too late to contribute to the society. And a hybrid model of being at work, being at learning has to change, because the big challenge was in the past is the knowledge, and bringing this knowledge and explaining this knowledge. This has been done. Now, what we can do with this knowledge is the future, in my opinion.
I think that's the real difference. I mean, I see two issues with AI. One is trust, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
The second one is personalization, right? The 3-year UK model or the 4-year US model, I think was meant very much for economies of scale, and when you only had the lecturer as a source material and the library as backup, right?
Yeah.
Now I have many source materials, of which the lecturer is just one, and perhaps the least exciting, right?
Yeah.
Now, this also means that how do you evaluate the learning journey, right? Because when you and I were studying, I mean, we used to use the phrase not studying, but reading in my case it was economics. I was reading economics at London University because you had to read and then you had to debate, right?
Yeah.
We never had assignments and everything was final exam.
Yeah.
Now the question is, how is your institution evaluating the learning process, right? And the struggle that I think a lot of universities are experiencing is with Gen AI and with the ease to which it can be used, how do we move away or how do we change evaluation on a final submission and perhaps look at alternative models which could even evaluate the learning process and not the outcome? So the process becomes more important than the outcome.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that this assignment, go and do the assignment and come back, it's not working anymore. As you said, it has to be a journey. So students need to be an iterative way. So they can come with their plan, what they want to do, discuss it with the faculty and present it to the faculty. Then they go and do their research or work to do, and then come back for a discussion. And it should be in that way. What we did here, we tried to minimize those type of just go and do it, and also the normal exams questions that you can find the answer anywhere. You shall ChatGPT to give you the answer to do. And we brought more oral presentation, video also. We have a system we developed where the AI can interview the student. So after they submit the assignment, they will get an AI come to the screen and ask them question. Again, students are able to find a way around that one to get some other thing, but with fine tuning it, hopefully it will become better and better to get them to reflect. Because the challenge is, if you say record the video, we get them to record your video and you go and watch it. If you have 20 in class, you need to watch all the 20. And if each one is 5 minutes, then it will be a long time to do. So AI came in the middle, maybe helping with that type of thing. We also developed an AI exam moderation for the faculty assessment to make sure it goes away from those challenging, easy to answer questions, but challenging to prove they are really student work. So the AI will go through the assessment and evaluate it. And it looks at broader thing, look at alignment with our accreditation, with industry requirement, language thing, variety of questions, the duration of the exam, and the AI provide the faculty with feedback, a report on that assessment to improve it further. But again, it is still challenging, regardless what you do, even with all AI intelligence and cameras and software that look at the student work, it's not an easy to do. The only way is get engaged with the student through the process, and students go and present it in chunks. That takes more time from the faculty, and that's another challenge it's bringing to us.
I think you've raised a couple of interesting issues. The first one is the idea that using AI to check on AI, which I think is an amazing way of dealing with the problem. Because when you have 100 students, 120 students, you possibly can't evaluate. So I think using AI is a very good thing. But the second one, which I want to focus on, is that we need to maintain academic credibility, right? Because that's really why students are coming to us. But the question is, how do we move away from the culture of digital surveillance, whether it's you using AI to check on AI, or whether, and you also mentioned that this is not 100% accurate.
Yeah.
And we also know that other softwares available on the market that try to look for the use of AI are not 100% accurate. In fact, if anything, they're about 5 or 10% accurate. So then the question becomes, the lecturer becomes an investigator of a type. and the student is always guilty without evidence, right? So one of the things that the Studiosity survey found is that students are constantly worried they're under suspicion, that they're guilty, even though they might be 100% innocent, they're by default guilty, right?
Yeah.
How do we change this trust in teaching and learning?
Yeah, it's a really challenging question to answer and find a solution for it. I agree. The student who spoke to me, and I agree with them as well, that because their English is very strong, their writing is amazing. When they write something, always AI say this is AI used. So they have to go and tweak it in a way and make some grammar mistake, even to make the software say, oh, this is now only 10% or whatever AI use, which not really something that we want in education. But again, it's not really the end result. If we just look at the report that the student gave at the end, that should not be the way we're judging the student learning. We need to judge it on incremental, on a process. Learning is a process, and the process with checkpoints in between, and more face-to-face work in the class, do it in a city if you go there. And moving also, we moved from online exams, that's another thing, which done through computers, into paper-based. Why? Not because we love the papers, but we find the student reflects better when they have a pen in their hand and a paper. And that will be through reflections of their work to do. Challenge come how we can digitize this, and that's another project which we have done to scan all this and do like that. But again, it's a process, and the process is the only way to be sure of that learning. Technology is still not there at the level we want it to be.
You mentioned the word process. I think that's a very important thing. How do you, as a university leader, operationalize these frameworks so both educators, i.e. your faculty, and learners are fully aware of what the process is and what is expected of them?
Good. What we have done so far, of course, we have policy and procedures explaining the use of AI and responsible use of AI and all this. We came with the certification for faculty. We call it AI Enhanced Teaching and Learning. It has 8 modules, including personalized learning, assessment, curriculum development, course evaluations, and stuff like that. And so far, we had around 200 faculty completed that certificate. It's a long, it takes 2 months with the portfolio, and they need to submit at the end of the work they have done. We did another one for the leaders and administrators, so they understand the ethical use, and also use cases of how AI can help them in their work and in their environment. Even we have one for life, how AI can help you in life as well. So educating and training and bringing governance in place through the policies and others. These are some of the ways we use to operationalize this.
Excellent. I think that makes a lot of sense. One of the other things I find is that AI, we look at it as educators as something that's taking away our jobs, right?
Yeah.
Or somebody that's a friend of the learner, but not us, right? Somebody that's allowing students to go to Claude, Chat, Copilot, get a student, how does ADU use AI to support the learning process so it creates exactly what you said a minute ago, the incremental learning process? I do something, find out it's wrong, learn, correct, resubmit, find out something else that's wrong. So this whole idea that I'm learning through experimentation, I'm learning through solving a problem, perhaps getting at the wrong answers, right? And then over time, reducing my reliance on AI and being able to do it naturally myself.
Yeah, I think what we have done is we moved away from, as an institution, from those general apps like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, which very open and can take you everywhere, to a more structured systems. So we developed systems that use Gemini, Claude, use all these things as a large language model, but we built a system that structured the process again. For example, we have a system for hiring, we call it smart hiring. When someone apply for a university faculty or admin job, the AI will screen the CV, will also AI will send an interview video link to the candidate. He or she will do the interview, analyze that interview from structures, of answers and language and things like that, and then goes into the social media to find information and evidence, Scopus, which our publication system, and find more information for the recruiters or who's maybe a program chair or a dean who want to recruit that faculty. So that's a more structured instead of just dumping someone's CV in ChatGPT and doing something. The system do it in a process based. Again, we had things as we discussed on the assessment as well. We have a system help faculty develop those assessment and also student to self-assess themselves. The system present to them questions based on their subject, open-ended, scenario-based, some simulations where they need to answer and take them through that process. We have one for research. When a faculty create a publication, he can put it into the system, and the system will look at it from the methodology, from the data being used, or from the journal that he is targeting to go to publish it, and is that aligned with it? And we have lots of systems like this, something called EduConnect, which helps students, for example, we have something important here called graduate attributes. There are 12 of them. You can call them future skills, work skills, communication, teamwork, leadership, use of data and stuff like that. So we developed a system to track every student progress in attaining those attributes and providing the student with opportunities to develop those attributes based on the activities and things we do in place. And AI give them something called extracurricular transcript, which they can, in addition to their academic one, they can have now another transcript. They can show the employer they have developed those skills and how they develop and what are the evidence help them to develop that. So through systems we structured, we built a structure in place to guide the use of AI instead of being open. And still people can use this open there, that's not an issue. But in the main operation where we need to measure the quality, we need to measure the effectiveness of different process in place, and we bring evidence of that. We came with those structured systems to help us achieve that.
That's amazing. I mean, I really love the idea that the amount of investment you spend and the amount of thought that's gone into creating a very structured, process-oriented learning path, right? But that also leads, if students are allowed to use AI, your university has one very important stakeholder, which is a parent,
Yes,
right? I'm a parent. I think you're a parent as well. We pay fees for our children. And then we always have this media that's outside reminding us that students are using AI, right? Headline in any tabloid newspaper, students are allowed to use AI at ADU University, right? Or at ADU. The question that then poses, what's the value of this degree if students are able to use AI, if students are able to create output using AI. So how does your university, how does ADU, how does it manage this perception? Yeah, definitely a perception. And B, how does it maintain the long-term value of your degree? Because I'm not doubting the degree at all, because as I said, on QS rankings, it's amazing. We know the achievements of the university. It is a perception issue. But at the end of the day, parents are influenced in some way by the media they read, right?
Yeah.
And just as we have clickbait in the media that brings out this so-called stories, how does ADU ensure that parents or whoever's paying the fees values the degree that comes out from ADU, where students are able to use AI?
Yeah. I think I have to say the parents we deal with and we talk to, they don't have that perceptions. At least a large number of them don't have that perception for one reason, because they can see their kids what they are engaged with when they come back to home, what sort of work they need to do, and the practical aspect of it, and learning they have to go through it, which I think give them the confidence it is there. But now in this media world now, of course, people can say what they want to say, and they sometimes can get it in a wrong direction. But again, what's important is experience the student had. And looking at our student, I have two kids studying in the university, and one is studying mechanical engineering. He's doing okay, I have to say. And one is studying digital marketing. Digital marketing doing great because she loves marketing and things like that to do. I can see how they are struggling with the learning. Things are not that simple. But the learning is not only the knowledge, as we said from the beginning, the experience, how we engage the student in the classroom, in the university. If you come to the university here in Abu Dhabi University, and not these days, because these days are we finished the semester, but if you come during the normal days, you will find so many activities there. You will find industry people speaking to the student. You will find students presenting in different places. You will go, you'll find the labs are fully engaged with us, with the student doing lots of great work. It's a life. The university will become not again a place where teacher will lecture and talk to. It will be a place where you bring industry, you bring real problems that need to be solved, and student will be immersed into solving those problems. And that's what we want. We want them see the value is being in the campus, not just going with ChatGPT or whatever thing. Here you build the human capabilities, you bring the human intelligence, and you understand better the problems there and what the best way to address them.
It's amazing. You're in a unique position where your children are studying, so you're both an educator and a important stakeholder. So I think you have a 360 view on what is happening at ADU. But I think you raised a very important issue, which is the experience. How do you at ADU measure how students' learning is increasing over time with the fact that they're actually using AI?
Yeah, of course, there are assessments we used to do in the past, and we have seen that. One of the things we watch clearly here is student at risk. Those students who are with GPA around 2, and we in IDU, we move it a little higher to just make sure we support them before they get into the at risk. And the percentage of students at risk is somehow declining. It's not that much, slowly declining down. And what really good is the number of them or percentage of them who get out of that at-risk area. We have a center called Success Center, where we have faculty, students, other students teaching other students, and we have tools there with that has also AI. We developed a learning management system ourselves using AI called Learn AI, which help personalized learning. If you have a presentation, you put it there and say, I love sport, then it will start building things. I learn through video, it will generate video and things. So the data shows that the student getting out of at-risk faster because not only AI, because the whole support we have. And the Academic Success Center is one of the most effective ways we found to do to help the student with that.
That's amazing. And I really love the idea of the Academic Success Center, because that's really what we are as educators, right? Our success is the success of our learners.
Exactly.
And when I look back to my own university days, it seems like it was yesterday, but it was many decades ago. And I look back and I think that's what I learned at university, and it's coming useful today. I will ask you the question. When you look back, or when your students look back in 10 years, 20 years' time, right? How do you think they will recall their experience at ADU?
Yeah, I think they will, all of us, as you know, when we go back, look back at our university time, we feel it is maybe one of the most valuable time we had and stick in our mind to do. And what we remember the people we work with, remember individuals, or maybe leaders, faculty, staff, student, other student, and we remember the experience we gained, what we managed to do. Like I created a solution or a system or a project or something that made excitement into the team. That will stay in my mind. I think we want them to remember those important moments where they have demonstrated their capability and ability to change this world through whatever they're doing.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I'm sure all your students will remember their days at ADU with great fondness, and the fact that you have created wonderful skills, or what we call lifelong learning, right?
Yeah.
That's really what we try to do.
Yeah.
Dr. Hamad, thank you so much. It's been a fascinating conversation, and it's been a wonderful set of insights on how ADU is dealing with the current AI challenge, but also creating students who will be the future leaders for the UAE, the region, and the world. Thank you so much, Dr. Hamad.
Thank you, Dr. Ashraf. I really enjoyed this discussion.
You have been listening to Studiosity's podcast, Reimagining Higher Education, candid conversations within higher education, sharing stories of leadership, change, and best practice in teaching and learning. Visit studiosity.com.